For more information on tutoring, personalized video solutions, or how to support Moof University and the production of more videos, check out moofuniversity.com. Thank you and enjoy. So in this video, we're going to name covalent compounds, specifically binary covalent compounds. A binary covalent compound is basically when we have just one nonmetal and another nonmetal, right? There are just two. Binary refers to two, okay? So we're going to name each of these elements sort of separately. The first one that we see, the first one listed in the formula, we're going to put a prefix, right, indicating how many of them there are, right? Unless there's just one, okay, as far as the first element goes, okay? And that prefix will be followed by the element's name, okay? That'll be for the first element. For the second element, we're going to have the prefix, regardless if it's just one. We're going to have a prefix no matter what. And following that, we'll have the element's name with the root ending in "ide," right? Okay. So best explain with examples. So we have CF4 as the first one, okay? So that's going to be, the first element's going to be carbon, right? And the second one is going to be fluorine. So this first part here applies to the first element. So we're going to put a prefix. Wait, no we won't, because it says unless there's just one of them. And I notice here that there's just one carbon. So I don't need a prefix. I'm just going to put the element name. So I'll put carbon. I will not put monocarbon, just carbon. Okay. And then I'm going to follow that with a prefix indicating the number of the next element, right? So in this case, I have 4 fluorines, right? So 4, the prefix is tetra. So carbon, tetra. And then I have the element name ending in "ide." So fluorine would be fluoride. So this would be carbon, tetra, fluoride. And that would be for that. Okay. Next up, I've got nitrogen and oxygen. Now, do I need a prefix here? Well, I've got 2 nitrogens, right? 2 of that first element. So I do need a prefix there. So I'm going to put the prefix for 2 in front of nitrogen. So the prefix for 2 is di. So dinitrogen. And I have 4 oxygens. So the prefix for 4 is tetra. So tetra. And then oxygen would become oxide. So dinitrogen tetraoxide. Now sometimes when there's 2 vowels there, they just change that to, they'll just write it as, dinitrogen tetroxide. So they'll just drop the A there. Okay, they'll just drop that A there. But I've seen both, so I'm going to go with both in this video. Okay. Next up, we got P4O10. So I'm going to need a prefix for the first element. There's 4. The prefix for 4 is tetra. So tetra. P is phosphorus. So tetraphosphorus. And we've got oxygen. There's 10 of them. The prefix for 10 is deca. So we'll have tetraphosphorus, deca, and then O is oxygen, oxide. So decaoxide, or just tetraphosphorus decoxide. Lovely. I made plenty of room there. So yeah, tetraphosphorus decaoxide or tetraphosphorus decoxide. Okay. Like I said, I've seen both. I think more commonly they drop the A, but I've seen both, which is why I'm putting both in the video before anyone comments with a sort of tons of exclamation points telling me about how wrong I am. Okay, next one is F2. Okay, how do we name this? Okay, joke's on you. This isn't actually a binary covalent compound. I just threw this one in here. This would just be fluorine, right? This is elemental fluorine because it's one of the 7 diatomic elements, right? The others are H2, N2O2, Cl2, Br2, and I2, right? I just put this here to remind you to go study these 7 diatomic elements if you don't already know them, okay? Next up, we've got S2Br2, okay? So S2, I'm going to need a prefix for that S. So that's going to be disulfur, right? Because there are 2 sulfurs. And the prefix for 2, again, bromine becomes bromide, so dibromide. disulfur dibromide. Okay. So next up I have H2O. So I'm going to have dihydrogen, and there's only one oxygen. So now I do need the prefix, right? Because the second one always needs a prefix. So there's one of them, so that's mono. So it's going to be monoxide, right? In that case, we're definitely dropping. We're not going to have monooxide. I've never seen that before. Okay. But you guys probably already know H2O commonly as water, right? Water. Okay. NH3, that would be nitrogen. We don't have to have a prefix for that one because it's already just one, right? So nitrogen, and there's 3 hydrogens. So that would be tri, right? According to the prefix tri, trihydride, right? Nitrogen trihydride. Okay. That one is commonly known as ammonia, and I'm going to put these actually in parentheses, these common names here. Okay. NH3 is commonly known as ammonia. Okay. CH4, so 1C, so that'll just be carbon, no prefix, right? Carbon, and then 4 hydrogens would be tetrahydride. But that one also has a common name, methane. And it's actually a hydrocarbon, which we're going to learn a little bit more about how to name hydrocarbons in the next video, specifically the alkanes. But I do mention here that you should memorize the common names of those 3 because they come up so often that it would just be a shame not to know them. Okay, so definitely keep those in mind and practice this with a bunch of different examples. I'm sure you can find some either on your homeworks or problem sets or even online if you just look up practice for naming. Anyway, I hope that video was helpful. Thank you for watching. If you found that video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with friends. Thank you and happy studying.